What if the confusion you're feeling right now isn't a problem that needs to be fixed, but a message that needs to be understood? What if the fog in your mind, the uncertainty in your life, and the strange feeling that nothing fully makes sense anymore are not signs that you're lost, but signs that something deeper is happening within you? Most people are taught to fear confusion. We're taught that if we don't have clarity, we must be failing. That if we don't know exactly what we're doing, where we're going, or how things will turn out, then we're behind in life. But the truth is, some of the most important moments of growth begin when clarity disappears. Clarity usually belongs to the past. It belongs to routines you already understand, roles you already know how to play, and identities you've already outgrown. Transformation, on the other hand, begins in uncertainty. It begins in the space where the old no longer fits, but the new hasn't fully formed yet. Think about the moments in your life that truly changed you. Chances are, they weren't neat or well organized. They were messy, confusing, emotionally intense. You probably didn't understand what was happening while you were inside it. Only later did things start to make sense. Only later did you realize that the confusion was guiding you somewhere new. We often mistake familiarity for truth. Just because something feels known doesn't mean it's aligned. Many people live inside borrowed clarity. They follow paths chosen by family expectations, social pressure, or survival needs. They adopt beliefs, goals, and definitions of success without ever questioning whether those things are truly theirs. On the surface, this kind of life feels clear. There's a plan, there's structure, there's approval. But underneath, there's often a quiet emptiness, a subtle sense that something is missing, a feeling that life is being lived on autopilot. When that borrowed clarity starts to crack, confusion enters. Questions begin to rise. Why doesn't this excite me anymore? Why do my old goals feel empty? Why do I feel disconnected from a life that once made sense? These questions can feel unsettling, but they are not signs of failure. They are signs of awakening. Confusion feels uncomfortable because the mind craves certainty. The mind wants answers, timelines, and guarantees. It wants to know exactly how things will unfold before it takes the next step. But growth doesn't work on the mind's schedule. Real transformation doesn't come with clear instructions or predictable outcomes. When your old identity begins to dissolve, the mind often panics. It tries to force clarity, rush decisions, or cling to what's familiar, even if it no longer feels right. This is why so many people repeat the same patterns in new forms. They leave one situation only to recreate it somewhere else, because they never allowed themselves to fully sit in the unknown. There is always a pause between who you were and who you are becoming. This pause can feel uncomfortable, unproductive, and even frightening. Motivation may come and go. Direction may feel blurred. You may feel disconnected from both your past and your future. Nothing feels fully right, but nothing feels completely wrong either. This is the space where many people lose patience. They label it as being stuck. They rush to fill the silence with distractions, noise, or busy activity. They go back to old habits simply because they don't know what else to do. But this pause is not a mistake. It's a necessary phase of recalibration. Just like a system powering down before an upgrade, your inner world sometimes needs stillness before expansion. Old beliefs need time to loosen. Old attachments need space to fall away. New awareness needs silence to emerge. What's real doesn't always announce itself loudly. It doesn't always come with certainty or confidence. What's real often arrives quietly, in subtle feelings, gentle discomfort, and unanswered questions. Illusions tend to be loud and convincing. They demand your attention and promise quick reassurance. Reality, on the other hand, invites patience. This is why chaos often appears before clarity. This is why things feel unstable before they align. Something has to fall apart before it can be rebuilt in a way that's more honest. If everything still made sense, there would be no reason to change. When clarity disappears, awareness expands. You stop reacting automatically to life. You stop following scripts without questioning them. You begin to observe your thoughts, your emotions, and your patterns more deeply. This awareness is powerful. It creates space between who you were conditioned to be and who you truly are. In this space, new possibilities become available, not because you've figured everything out, but because you're no longer confined by old definitions. The unknown is not empty. It's full of potential that couldn't reach you before, because your hands were already full of certainty. Instead of asking when everything will finally make sense, try asking different questions. What is no longer aligned in my life? What am I being asked to release? What version of myself am I outgrowing? These questions don't demand immediate answers. They invite reflection. Stillness is more powerful than forcing clarity. Listening is more powerful than rushing decisions. When you allow yourself to sit with uncertainty, something begins to shift naturally. Insights arrive without effort. Direction forms quietly. Alignment replaces anxiety. Clarity isn't something you chase. It's something that settles when the noise fades. If you're in a phase where your old goals no longer excite you, where your future feels undefined, and where your identity feels unfamiliar, understand this. You are not behind in life. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are between layers. Being between layers can feel lonely, because the old world no longer understands you, and the new world hasn't fully appeared yet. But this space is sacred. It's where authenticity is formed. It's where you stop becoming who you were told to be and start becoming who you actually are. What feels unclear, right? Now may be more honest than anything you've known before. What feels confusing may be guiding you toward a deeper truth. What feels empty may actually be creating room for something more aligned to enter your life. Trust the pause. Trust the unraveling. Trust what you can't yet explain. Not everything that matters arrives with immediate clarity. Some things reveal themselves only after you've learned to sit in the unknown without fear. What isn't clear is often what's most real. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to like this video. It helps support the energy and intention behind this channel. Subscribe if you're ready to explore deeper awareness, conscious living, and real inner transformation. And comment below if you're currently in a phase where nothing feels clear. Your experience might help someone else realize they're not alone. You are exactly where you're meant to be, even if you can't fully see it yet.